Awesome. Yeah, welcome everyone for the second week. And I think this week we're gonna focus on um, few tools. Main focus is to sort of how we can create ChatGPT from scratch. I think like we're gonna like create ChatGPT style web app where you can have a chat interface and you can ask questions and to literally recreate what OpenAI created and very quickly. So, and a little bit of about the deployment side as well. As usual, so if you have questions, feel free to add them in the chat and we'll sort of pick them up at the midpoint or towards the end. So yeah. So the focus today is like how we can sort of uh, to build a ChatGPT style interface. So we'll focus on two ways. One is using AI tools where you um, use prompting to create the app and then deploy it and see how that works. I mean, we might run into some issues because it's relatively probabilistic what will come out, but still hoping that it'll get to a working product very quickly. And the second way is that we're gonna like look at how you can code this up from scratch, like the only the fundamental side of things, and then sort of deploy that locally to see how that works. So yeah, this is the agenda for today. So the first approach you're gonna try is like using Lovable, which is a tool. Like there are quite a few tools. Like one of the tools that are there that you can use prompts to create a web app very quickly. This will build the front end and connect to Supabase as the backend and the database service, and you can sort of get a working tool very quickly. The second approach is to using like how we would do this from scratch, and we got a sample repo as well to show how it works, and go a bit into Next.js and why this is quite important and valuable for SEO and like how we can use that for building web apps. So those are the two main approaches, and also we'll discuss some ways you can extend your app, different ways, and probably at the end we will have answer your questions that you may have. Yeah, so the first one is using Lovable. Um, so, so what is Lovable? So it's a web app tool that you can use to build full stack apps using prompts. You explain what you want in natural language and to build it for you. There are quite a few competitors for Lovable, and Lovable is relatively like prominent players in the market, one of the players in the market. And good thing about Lovable is like you can connect the code to the GitHub and you can export the code and you can do deployments from there, or you can download the code locally and do edits and push again to GitHub and then improve it beyond Lovable's platform. So it gives a lot of flexibility as well as for quite a few use cases you can use Lovable to get working production ready app very quickly. So we use it a lot. And like, yeah, I hope everybody give it a go as well. So what you'll do is first probably go to Lovable. So it's lovable.dev. You need to create an account. So this has two tiers. Like there's a free version. I think that's more than sufficient for you to try this. And there's a paid version that you can pay to get more. So the pricing differs is that if you want to play around with it more and like build more, add more features, improve the product, you need to get a paid version. Otherwise, the free version is quite sufficient. And then like we'll use this prompt to build. So we'll put this in the chat and I'll show this in a bit. So we're asking is to build a ChatGPT style dashboard. For front end, we'll use Tailwind and also wiring the OpenAI API. So how this works is like we'll build the UI side of things and the prompting side of things. And for the backend, like we'll connect the OpenAI endpoint. So we can switch to Gemini, we can switch to Claude. So it doesn't matter what type of backend LLM service that you use. But for now, we can use OpenAI API. So let me see. So we'll go to Lovable and I'll copy this prompt. I mean, you can type this as you see fit. There's no proper structure to this, Vercel. So this is what Lovable looks like. you have like a place to prompt. Add your prompt. You can attach files. You can add import from Figma. If you have Figma design, you can get that as well. And you can connect your Supabase. So I'll go into Supabase in a bit. Yeah, I mean, there are quite a few examples if you're gonna go and see in the community as well. And they also have these other examples just to start off with. So I'll sort of copy paste what you have right now. So yeah, so you want to build like a ChatGPT style UI with OpenAI using the OpenAI key. So it might not work in the first go, but I'll do a few prompts and get it working. So this will take like a minute or so. So to read our prompt and sort of start coming up with a strategy, like how to approach this, and then go ahead and build that. So hopefully I should have enough credits on this. But yeah, it shows the type of the codes that are getting generated, the files. So I'll let that run for a bit. In the meantime, I also want to show Supabase. I think so. You can connect to Supabase from here. So manage subscription, or in the chat UI, you get prompted to connect there. Let me see if I can connect. Yeah. So so what Supabase is, I'll do a quick primer on Supabase. So Supabase is basically a backend as a service. So what that means is like you can have the database services there as well as also for functionality for backend to a certain extent. So it's something called edge functions where you can sort of write like script type functions like using JS. But it wouldn't allow you to run Python. So that's a bit of um, a disadvantage, I would say, but still you can get fully functioning backend as a service. For example, if you want to have authentication done, like have users with your application, you can have that, and your authentication database and everything is managed, and you'll have like row level security. It's quite important for you to maintain security where you have like shared tables with information of multiple users, so you can have that security enforced there. So this is probably inspired from like Google's Firebase sort of databases and services, but it's much more flexible and it's open source as well. If you want to deploy it on your side, you can do that as well, and I highly recommend you checking that out. So Supabase is natively integrated with Lovable, so in that way, because of that we can easily connect that. Um, I think it sort of finished building this. So it sort of gives what it builds, like the features and everything. So now it's asking for the OpenAI key. I think might be able to sort of get away by directly adding this here. Sometimes it asks for to connect to Firebase. So I'll go ahead and copy my one of my keys here. Give me a second. Okay. So I added my API key, and so we can ask something here. Would you explain, um, is, can we ask, explain AI in simple terms? Let's see if it works. So it's not showing up. So let's see what the problem is. Let's see. Just checking the code as well. So this is what the code looks like. So I'll see if I can fix this, but if this doesn't, I have another sample that sort of I built like 10 minutes ago that worked. We can go into that. So the idea is like if it sort of pops up errors, you can sort of fix here. And then that's how we can do that. Yeah, so the message sort of gets through and asking how can I assist you today. So let's say I mean write me a poem, okay, something like that. Take a bit of time. Yeah, so it sort of gets a message like this. So I mean, you can do quite a lot of changes on this, but this is like the initial sort of version that you can build very quickly. For example, we'll discuss at the end like what sort of features that you can build. So you can sort of mimic like a typewriting sort of style where sort of you can see the messages are getting sort of typed just like on ChatGPT. You can switch between dark mode and like the normal mode. So things like that you can sort of change a lot. You can extend this to have agent behavior, to Google search if needed. So you can add more features to this, but this is like the initial version that you can sort of quickly build. And you can continue to add more chats. And yeah, this is like the simplest version. Um, so so yeah, I think like going back to where we were. Um, so another thing I want to show here is that yeah, I want to connect this to GitHub and see if we can deploy this. So now this is still within Lovable, so you can't necessarily share this anywhere. I mean, you can share a link, but best if you can deploy it within your environment. To do that, I'm going to try and connect this to my GitHub. Let's see. So GitHub, I think we discussed earlier, where you can sort of store your code bases, and then you can do version control on that, so you can see like different versions of this. And so you'll have this here. So you have the instructions needed to deploy this, and everything's there. So the next thing I want to show here is that how we can deploy this separately. So to do that, I'm going to use Vercel. See. So Vercel is like front end deployment service. You can sort of deploy your front end code on Vercel, and so if you have back end deployed somewhere, you can get your front end deployed in Vercel. So I'm gonna try and see if I can deploy this. Let's see. So the name of this is Chat Whisper 56. It's available here, so I'll select this. Um, and then I think the other thing important is to set the environment variable. So if you want to like store secrets and things like this, you can add them directly here. So we need the OpenAI key, and I need to copy that and paste it here. And that's all you need for now. And then let's say hit deploy. So it should take a few seconds to get this deployed. It's also asking, so I think I need to do a slight change on this, but it's asking for here as well. Let's see if it works. I think for some reason it's not getting sort of working, but this is the general flow that you sort of can deploy this directly, and you get like a URL like this, and you can switch the URL to point to it like one of your custom endpoints. If you have a purchase domain, you can sort of connect that as well and then deploy it. I'll show like I think there was another thing I've deployed this earlier. See if this is available. Yeah, it's not deployed. So yeah, I mean, this is what I want to show. I think we need to debug a bit more to get this working, but the idea is like you build it on Lovable and get it to GitHub, and then sort of deploy it in Vercel, and then you can share that publicly with other users, anybody that you want to show this product. So that's like the general flow. Yeah, and yeah, I think that's the summary of that, like how we can sort of quickly build something like this, like ChatGPT. Yeah, and the next thing I want to cover is sorry. So the idea here is like initially we use Lovable to prompt and build the app and then get to deployment. So here we can try and do is like whether we can wanna, do you wanna take over?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can keep sharing if you want. I think so. You can open the cursor now.
Cursor.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
can see cursor. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Manu. Thanks a lot for that. So I think the next step is like quickly showing you how we would start a Next.js app. And like if we'll try to build something with that as well. Let me show my screen. You need to do for this one is like create the scaffolding for it. So you'll use this command for that. And then I'll show you using cursor how we can build the ChatGPT style web app very quickly. So yeah, I just created a repo. So yeah, it's an empty folder, and in that I'm going to run this command, npx create next app latest, and the name of the app that you want to build. So I think last time I showed as well this, so we'll just accept the standard parameters. We can switch them if needed, but for now it's all good. So if I import this, so you'll have a similar structure here. So this is like a vanilla type, like there's nothing else added on to this. This is like the bare bones Next.js app. And for this, then you sort of go into the app. Yeah, and then do an npm install. I think should be fine because yeah, all the packages are already installed. And I also installed the OpenAI one, which is needed there. So this should actually kick off whatever the version that we have right now. Like this is the basic Next.js app. But we're gonna try and see if we can create a GPT style here. Yeah. So we can go to the same prompt that we used on Lovable. I think, yeah. Also create .env file here. Sometimes this get overwritten, but if that happens, I'll copy paste it again. Yeah, I'll just leave it like this, and I'll add that in a bit. Yeah. I'll let that run through. I think the only difference I would do on this prompt the next time is like ask it to be minimal. I think sometimes Cursor tend to create a lot of code, which is hard to manage. So compared to Lovable, I'll sort of give that kind of a prompt as well. But it should build something very quickly. Right. Yeah, I think Cursor might extend this, but like for I think US universities like they've extended the free trial, but like not to like South Asian schools yet. So if you are, yeah, you need a .edu. I think um, if you have that, that's great. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, yeah, VS Code is fine. I guess like it also has relatively good enough features, but like yeah, the agentic stuff I think it's not good enough yet compared to what Cursor offers. That's a downside. Um, no, I mean, I agree. Yeah. So, yeah, I was just talking to Cursor team at some point, trying to get some grades. So but yeah, so they said like it's not within the plan yet, but like, yeah. But I'll try to follow up with them to see if we can get some sort of licenses. But yeah, I think like the next best thing is like VS Code plus like ChatGPT or Claude, like using tandem, but yeah, the issue is the agentic mode, which you wouldn't get easily. Yeah, the other things like I mean, when I initially I did doing as well, like screenshotting stuff like logs and everything, I was like too lazy just putting everything to ChatGPT or Claude or Grok. So that's like a very natural way to like code. I mean, I think like now like in behind the scenes, Cursor might be using that as well to a certain extent. I mean, logs are connected as well, but like see what's a natural way, like because it's sometimes hard to like copy stuff and paste. Like screenshot will be more than sufficient. So the ChatGPT would have the vision capability to read the logs, so you can sort of read that as well. So, but yeah, I can do things faster.
So
Oh
that
yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, so Streamlit, I'll show the website as well. Streamlit. So this is, if you haven't seen this, this is one of the fastest way to build UI using Python. I used this a lot in the past. Like if I want to build like a very quick demo, you can see in the gallery some amazing, very quick stuff. There's nothing to, there's no, I mean, it get compiled into JS, but you can type using um, Python. So it's quite cool. If you haven't used this already, I mean, a lot of data scientists, analysts know this. But if you're from a CS background, you may not have come across this. I mean, there are similar tools like this. Like this is a Python library that you can use. Um, I'm just trying to see if there are interesting demos to check. There's a Yeah, I mean you can see quite a few. What is this? It's a gallery. It's getting loaded. So these are like other people who submitted their sort of it's loading. Okay, it's broken. So and you get like free hosting as well. So if you want to deploy something, you can deploy it on the cloud, and as long as you use you how to use a URL. But you can have like working demo very quickly using Streamlit. So I'll see if I can build something very quickly as well from Streamlit using Cursor. But in the meantime, so our app is ready to check. So it has already sort of generated the code. So as I told you, it sort of creates quite a lot of code. So you can sort of fine tune this with your system prompt to like reduce like certain error messages and things like this to start off. But different components are created like the sidebar, message input, the message bubble, chat panel, all these are created right now. And layout has also been changed a bit to adding the name and things like this. And yeah, so now you run this using np run dev command, and then you can sort of see this like deployed on our side. You can also push this to GitHub and do this, follow the same way, deploy it into Vercel, and sort of have the URL shared with others to show, like, especially like if you're building a portfolio, this is the best way to do it, like build something very quickly, and then push it to GitHub and deploy it in Vercel, and like anybody, like if you apply for jobs and like if you're writing something on LinkedIn or Twitter to show that what you have built, you can quickly put a link so somebody can go and check. So other thing, I'm gonna try and see if we can do this in Streamlit. But yeah, let me see. See, let's remove this and let's ask again to build. Go back to what we used earlier. Yeah. So same prompt, but we're gonna say use Streamlit for front end. So to do so it will sort of install like the normal Python style, the requirement.txt, and build app.py, which is the front end side of things. So I'll let this run. In the meantime, like I can take a few questions as well, if you guys have. Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very good question. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, finish. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's 100%. Like, if you look at like so it's this like came out like Zuckerberg like put a message saying that they're changing the way they conduct interviews. Like now they want to use let people use AI tools during the interviews, and I think it's gonna be the trend as well. It's like so, and this is like I mean, two sides to this argument, right? Like obviously there will be some level of losing skills, I would say. Like so, but I'll come back to this one. But yeah, so to answer that question, like so definitely, so we're gonna move up the level of abstraction a bit more, like, right? So I mean, like during my undergraduate days, I learned like assembly and like you name it, all the languages. I mean, you should know. I think maybe CSE still teaches this stuff. So you learn these skills, which is quite helpful for you to like go in deep and like figure out if you're writing like a operating system based, like if you're writing a kernel, yeah, it's helpful. But beyond that, like it's a very niche example, and you can move much faster when you sort of learn these tools. To answer your question, like directly, like how you stand out, like be a really good software engineer. So I mean, I get like at least 5 to 6 within a week requests, like people who used vibe coding tools to build apps, they managed to get the product working, but they're stuck at like getting into production, like how to do like server side, like how to make the product secure, like how do you ensure that nobody can hack these apps, and also making sure that it's extensible very quickly, and how it handles like load, etc., like load balancing. So there's quite a lot of like not so trivial things that you need to learn. I mean, those things also eventually get like automated to a certain extent, but to do adjustments, do customizations, you need to know the fundamentals. So definitely make sure that while you're building this, make sure that you understand, like learn the fundamentals on the side. So in that way, you'll be like far ahead. But this helps you to like have a much more broader skill set. In the past, I wouldn't try to build like front end apps. Like I wouldn't try to do like more. Yeah. So I mean, got the app working. Just need to add the OpenAI key. In the meantime, feel free to ask any questions as well. Yeah, just go where the technology is going. That's the best way to make money and out simple as that. Like if you look at history, like more like one of the ways to get rich and is people who are using technology at different points in time. And like if you are using technology, you're gonna be ahead like in any kind of field. So it doesn't differ whether it's software engineering, whether it's different any other field. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I'm also aware that we are almost at time, but I want to like quickly show this as well. This is the what I created, the app.py. So this is purely in Python. So if you look at this, like, so this is the Streamlit app. And on this side, you'll have ways to sort of control the models if needed, temperature, max tokens, like different features. I mean, this will get loaded on the API call very quickly. And so you can chat here, similar to what we built earlier. So the good thing about it is like if you, so okay, it doesn't show directly. Let's see. So, so I think so it's loaded to be JavaScript. But if you look at from this point of view, it's everything is written in Python. For the CSS, it has used Markdown, but like apart from that, everything else at the functionality side of things, instead of JS, they've used Python. So you can do a lot of Python focused coding here. So it's great if you're a Python first developer and you want to do UI, if you like so. And you can also deploy these on Streamlit very quickly, and you can store similar to what we did on Vercel. You can sort of store the environment keys and get something working and share the link with somebody who wants to check this out. So yeah, this is what I want to quickly show you guys. And if I go to the slides very quickly, yeah. So the summary of this is that you can sort of now extend what we built right now. So you can have like streaming responses like with typewriter effect, like that what you've seen on ChatGPT. You can sort of store history using Supabase or Firebase, and you can load conversational history so that you can maintain memory. You can add authentication using Next.js or what Supabase offers, and you can have authentication in place. You can add users to your product that you build. You can do markdown rendering for code answers because you can do formatting right now. Everything is like showed as text, but if you're getting like different types of outputs, you can sort of use markdown here. And themes like dark mode, custom colors, and things like this. There's some examples we can sort of extend what we build right now and also add similar features from OpenAI. So